Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be making our extended piece we're going to be using on the Rocket Bunny side skirts. Um, these two are the two things that I've been waiting on, plus finding some gloves in the store. So I just got these in the mail today. We're good there. We're all set to start the process. Um, First start off, I got these two from fiberglass, and I learned it from watching Street Bandito. Um, Very informational guys. You can see Tim right there working on his car. Um, if you haven't checked out Street Bandito's channel, I encourage you guys to do it. They do a lot of um, fiberglass carbon fiber work, and Tim and Xavier are pretty informational guys. I pretty much learned um, the correct way of doing this whole process through watching their channel. So if you guys have time, I highly recommend watching them. Uh, so yeah, First off, we'll start out with the powder paste. This is basically just the wax. Um, we'll be applying that onto here. As like Tim says, from Street Bandito, Mr. Miyagi style, we're gonna wax on, wax off with this. So we're gonna do 3 coat, and what this Pardo paste it's gonna help out with is it's kind of fill in these small little crease here, just a tad bit, so that save us a lot of time when we're doing the finishing sanding work and filling in all that stuff. And after we do 3 coat of the Pardo paste, we're gonna apply this PVA release film. So it's gonna help us break the fiberglass piece that we're gonna be molding here off of this foam plug here. Doing it this process, this plug is probably gonna get destroyed in the process, but we don't care about that. All we care about is just coming out with a nice or decent fiberglass piece here that we can work on. So uh, that's what we'll be doing. So after the PVA release film, and then of course you got your fiberglass cloth and fiberglass mat down here, and then we'll be using these fiberglass resin with the hardener. And after that, we'll be finishing the surface off with some body filler, just to try to smooth things out and make it a little more sturdier. And then after that, we're gonna be cutting the excess part away off from these fiberglass piece that we're gonna make, and then we're gonna epoxy them on to the existing Rocket Bunny side skirt, so that we'll have a long enough length to cover the whole side of the ej1 here. So let me get my workstation ready, then we'll start on this process. So before I start the process of making it, I just wanted to throw the side skirt on real quick and measure out how much I need to make for the extended piece. So I'm going to start right here by this groove, because what I plan to do is I'm going to sand this portion down so that it's as low as the deepest part of this groove is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make just a thin piece of the extended piece that I need, and I'm going to overlap them and epoxy them on, and I'll body filler to make it smooth. And once I got that piece all together, then I'll reinforce from the back of those pieces and the thin piece to make it as thick as this piece here. So I'm just going to be laying maybe 1, 2, or 3 layers, so it's not going to be thick. And then after the epoxy, like I said, we'll fiberglass the back portion of it, and we'll make it thick and sturdy. And then we'll go from there. But for now, we need to take some measurements. So from from this groove to the end here looks to be about 12 inch or 1 foot of extended piece that we need, but we don't really need 12 inch of it. So basically the older fender is going to run along with this fender here and it's going to come down about right here. So we only really need it to be about right here. So technically it's say about 9 or 10 inch to be on the safe side, but I'm just gonna make a foot of it. So I mean, I guess it's better to have extra and just cut down as you need versus not having enough and destroying this foam plug in the process and having to redo it over. So better safe than sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and make 12 foot of it. I mean 1 foot of it, and we'll start with that and see how it goes. Alright guys, here's my ghetto do-yourself workstation. So I had to bring all these in from overnight because outside is still way too cold here. I mean, this stuff could be worked on in the cold, but then you're not gonna get better or a faster result from when the weather is cold. So I brought them all inside, let them sit overnight so that all these could be room temperature. So that's how you see this whole heap of mess here. So yeah, let me explain myself what I got going on here. So since I was shopping at Home Depot, I decided to grab one of these Pva sprayer for the Pva Release Film and brush here now to help me lay on the epoxy resin for the fiberglass. So when working with any kind of sprayer system, aerosol can or full-on spray paint, you kind of want a good ventilation, you know, because all that fume and all that gas that comes out of all these aerosol stuff gets pretty nasty if it gets inside your lungs or whatnot. So what I got going on here is I got my shop vac up here and I got the tube hooked up to the exhaust port and left the intake port wide open. So what they're going to do is that's going to create a vacuum effect and try to suck in all that nasty fume. And then the filter inside is going to filter some of that particle out, and then it'll try to grab all the smell or some of the smell out of and just push this exhaust tube here out, the dryer exhaust tube there outside, so that the house won't smell like epoxy resin and all that stuff. So yeah, so I got the part laid down here. So what I end up doing with this mold here, this plug here, is that I put a tape on it. So basically when we measure 12 inch that we need. So we measure from the top part of the side skirt 12 inch, but then like as you can tell, the part of the side skirt, it's slanted. So I remeasure it from down here. So right here to where this tape is 12 inch, and all that's doing is it's just getting me, it's just hinting me that I just need a fiberglass the piece to be at least this length. So I'm probably going to do a little more about halfway through this tape here. So I'm going to do it from this portion to right here. So all that, like I said, all that is doing is it's just letting me know that I'm making the right length that I'm going to need. So you got it both marked down here. Alright guys, so if you guys hear that noise in the background, don't mind it. That's just the water heater doing this thing. I'm gonna start off here by cutting up this fiberglass cloth and fiberglass mat to size. So I'm going to be doing 4 layers. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with 1 layer of this fiberglass cloth because that's a finer cloth, and it'll give us a nice first surface finish here, and then we're gonna add three layers of this fiberglass mat here for added strength. So I'm gonna cut this up, and then we're gonna go on with the part I'll paste next. So we're gonna wax it on one layer, and then wait 30 seconds, then we're gonna wax it off again. We're gonna repeat that 2 more times, so basically 3 layers of this wax on wax off stuff. What that's gonna help us do, it's gonna help us release the fiberglass piece from this plug here, and these little crease and these little line in here, that wax is gonna kind of help fill in, so we'll get a better result from it. And then after that, we'll go in with the Pva Release Film here. So you want 0.2 to 0.4 millimeter thickness of this Pva Release Film to be applied on here. So what that's telling me is our end result is we need a glossy finish, and sort of like a thick clear coat. So the end result, that's what we want. So we're gonna start out by applying, just like spray paint, we're gonna apply a nice light coat first, kind of get it all tacky, and then we're gonna follow that by a heavy coat, and then we're gonna go at it until we get that nice gloss finish for both of these plug here. And then we'll wait 30 minutes for that stuff to dry, then come back and we'll do the fiberglass part. All right, let's get started. All right, for some odd reason, This sucker here failed on me. Every time I try to press it, it was releasing air through these pockets here, so I'm guessing they didn't seal the inside of here. It wasn't working properly. But lucky I got a second one, so we're all good to go. Alrighty. Alright, it's been about an hour here now. All the PVA is all dried up, so now I don't really know what happened, but probably because this thing like actual mold or plug material kind of caused the film here to kind of air it up and cause these little crease in there, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm guessing that once we lay down the fiberglass, the weight of the fiberglass and the resin, it's gonna push all that down, so we're not too worried about it. Even if it's not a good finish, all we really want is the shape here, and then we can fill these in later with body fillers. So yeah, let's lay some fiberglass down. Alright, here's the first piece all done. So it's looking really good and really promising. I can still see through the fiberglass here, and then I can see all that little crease I was talking about, but we're not too worried about that. We'll fill all that in with body filler and make it all smooth once it's done. But it's looking very promising. As I kind of guessed, the fiberglass and the epoxy resin had a little weight to them and pushed down all that film that was bubbling up. So I think it's looking really good and really promising. So we're good there. So I guess I'll stop the video here, and I'll finish the second side, and we'll continue part 2 of this once all this is done. So see you guys in part 2.